Welcome to the Poetic Truth Show, where we bring you products strictly for the creative. Here we have today is the one, the only. She making money moves, Victoria Watts.
Woo!
Woo! How are you today, Victoria?
I'm doing well. The lovely Miss Angelina. How are you?
I try sometimes. I am doing good. I'm so glad that you are here with us. You are one influential person. You influence me in a lot of ways. So we just want to bring you on and talk about who you are. So who is the Victoria Watts?
Who am I? Who am I not?
No, that's right.
I've always said that I find that my life purpose is connecting people to resources. And so in anything that I do, that's ultimately my goal, is to expose people to information and or tactics that they may not have known about otherwise, and anything that I do to help bring them to their completed end, their success in their lives.
Awesome. Cool. I know Robbie had you come here as one of his guests today, and I'm so excited. When he first told me, I was like, oh my gosh, I did not think about Victoria.
Yeah, she was like, we was at the house, and she was like, oh my God. Victoria's going on the show. I gotta get my stuff together.
I did say that. I was like, I said, get together.
I said, oh my.
And it's very interesting that she brought about connecting people to resources, because I remember we had a very testimony. We had a very long, in-depth conversation. We were coming from the holiday, and I think there was a fashion show or something to that nature. Mm-hmm. And what you guys are probably about to find out is that she's really deep into the fashion game and things of that nature.
Yes.
So she looked out for me one time, and I was telling her about Around the Way News and my news segments and things of that nature. And she looked out and she gave me her tripod, which was very big. So that, connection to the resources or whatever. I appreciate you for that.
No problem. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember that night. We were at, there's a local designer who had a fashion show, and I remember Robbie was he was telling me about Around the Way News, and I was like, it's so unique to to our area and to our city and what we do, because when you think about the news that you see, we don't always see everything that goes on the news. And so with what he does with Around the Way News, it brings news to the people for things that they may care about that we don't always see on TV. And so I think he was just in like a different place. He was like, this, that, and I was like, so what is it? What are you waiting on? Like, what is it? And it was just so funny, because I literally had a tripod in the back of my car, and I told him, I was like, I don't know what you can do with this, but here's a tripod. You can do what you need to do. And he was like, all right. And so I always find that that's really cool, and that's the type of people I like to work with. Mm-hmm. People who have a vision, people who have something that they want to do, and sometimes literally all they need is that connection to whatever that resource is. It may be a person, it may be a product, it may be something, but that's all they need to keep on going. And so that's why I like to.
It's dope that you say that, though, because like at every event, I feel like I see you.
I know,
because you be like, when I tell you, I feel like Victoria be grinding, because like I ain't gonna lie, like when I started, pursuing Lavelle, I didn't know a lot of people. People tell you need to go out and mingle. You need to get your face out there.
Mm-hmm.
But every time I did it, sure enough, I saw her. Like, what I'm saying? So with somebody, like,
and if she's not there, she's telling people about it.
Right.
She's sharing it.
So I got a question, like, so
yes,
what? Everything that you've been doing, what gives you that drive? Because I know, like, you're a wife, you got kids.
Yeah.
I don't know if you work a job or anything like that, but if you do, that'd be amazing, because you're doing a lot.
Right. You're doing everything.
Like dang. But what gives you that motivation to do, pursue? Because you got a lot of ideas, a lot of dreams. I see you with a lot of different things in Lynchburg, so it's like pretty dope. So it's like, I feel like if somebody were to come to you, they would come to you they'll be able to come with you with different things if they need to. You have a lot of different avenues that you connected with, which is dope. But I just want to know, like, really, what gives you that drive?
Honestly, what pushes me and what drives me is really seeing people connect with their purpose and being fulfilled in what they do. I oftentimes say that the reason why I like to connect people with resources that they may not have otherwise had access to is because growing up, I had access to a couple different things that a lot of people didn't really learn about, and I know how it benefited me as an individual and how it exposed me to different things. And so the driving factor behind that is, seeing people go from, oh, I don't think I can do this because I don't know this or I don't know that, to going to, oh, all I needed was this.
Right.
Now I can accomplish what it is I set out to do.
Right.
And so, you know, a lot of, like, I just have a passion for literally helping people get from idea to creation to execution.
Wow. Yeah.
You know, that, like, that's really my whole driving factor, and a lot that helps with that. You know, my husband, we have 4 children. I was in the workforce. I came out, you know.
Oh, so you're doing this full time?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So
see, that's amazing. I can't wait. Like I said,
Right.
I'm doing music full time for sure.
You know,
Yeah.
well, I mean, and you know, it's not always easy, and you know, it takes time for you to get to where you really want to be. But when you have that strong foundation, like my husband understands, you know, there are some weekends I'm just not going to be there. You know, my kids see kind of like, well, what are you doing this? What are you doing that?
Yeah.
They don't understand, but they can see that I have a flexibility and a freedom to do what it is I really like to do. And so, you know, the passion and the driving force behind it is really that freedom that you can really do what you want to do and have a passion for it and help others in doing that.
Yeah.
You know, seeing other people be successful.
Wow. Yeah. That's awesome.
And also, Victoria, I think from the conversation that we had, I know you're with Let's Talk Fashion. I know that's your thing.
Yes, sir.
It's very interesting to see someone who can see things, I guess, concerning how to organize events, but also have a sense of fashion as well. I don't know if we got the camera. What if we can highlight this lady? You know, if I see her serving fashion, you know, and it's something, you know, very interesting to see, because, you know, I feel like that's something that comes with it. You know, a lot of people say it comes with the territory. So it's like, if you're in a position to where you kind of, you know, see things, you know, from behind, it's like a lot of that stuff's gonna rub off. So it's very interesting to see, you know, the styles and things that you put together, you know.
Yeah, you know, that's interesting. You say that, because that I wasn't necessarily like that in the beginning. But you know, the best way to sell a product is to be in where and, you know, express the product. So, you know, the thing about fashion is that I'm of the belief that fashion is art, and it's a way that we express ourselves, and there are different avenues of expression. And so with Let's Talk Fashion Virginia, what that was established to do was to push and promote uniquely originated brands right here in our region, and expose them to greater crowds, expose them and let people know that we have this here, for them to continue to push their art. Because, you know, I don't know if everybody can see how fashion is art, but it is. One of the things I was talking to Miss Angelina about earlier was, you know, we see a lot of different forms of art, but right here where we are, you don't really see fashion pushed as art. And so, you know, one of those things that I do is, you know, what I don't see, if I can, I create. And so that's what Let's Talk Fashion Virginia was created to do, was to expose fashion as art right here in our region where we are.
Wow. That's amazing.
I know, because you don't see it that often. You see, like, you know, there's a whole lot of music, and now the fine art is kind of, you know, making its way back in the photography, but you don't see the fashion.
You know, because I definitely agree. I really do feel like fashion is art.
I know.
Like, what you mean, though?
Yeah, I know.
She said she's in concurrence with you.
I'm agreeing with you.
Okay. You know,
Yeah, because you wear anything. I mean,
you know, if I feel like I look good in it, I'm
you gonna wear it.
Right. Forget what they say.
That's right.
You know
Express
what I'm saying?
yourself.
He's uniquely
Express
himself.
yourself.
Yeah.
There you go.
Alright.
There you go. Here, let's bring it back.
Yo, that's my anthem, though.
It's true though. It's true, but you don't see it that often. So
Yeah.
when did you establish Let's Talk Virginia?
So Let's Talk Fashion Virginia was established in April 2017. It originally started as an event in September of 2016. And what that was, again, I had saw a lot of fashion and fashion shows being presented, but there was no diversity of body type at that time. And so it was, the first show was called Let's Talk Fashion for the Tall, Curvy, and Plus Lady. We had it at a local conference center, and I brought in an image consultant, I brought in a makeup artist, I brought in a health and wellness coach, and a high profile blogger out of High Point, North Carolina, and we talked about the different aspects of developing your own personal style and what fashion is. And then we also had a fashion show, because what I hear a lot of times is people of different body types say, you know, well, we don't know where to shop here. There's nothing to shop here in Lynchburg. So I went to all of the large big box stores, and I found, because I was like, well, the only place I shop is in Lynchburg.
Yeah, I don't go out.
You know, so I went to all of those stores, and I worked with the departments to pull clothing from those lines, and we had a fashion show, and then we also did a vendor pop-up style thing. And so a lot of people enjoyed it, and so I had done it just to simply execute and say, there are places for you to shop, and these are different body types that are here and that can shop here in the Lynchburg area. Afterwards, people are like, so what's next? And I was like, it wasn't really nothing next.
That was the plan.
You know? And so I just kept hearing it. And then that's when, in April of 2017, Let's Talk Fashion Virginia became the company. And the first thing I decided to conquer was that there are a lot of unique retail offerings, and there are emerging fashion designers here in the region. And so everywhere else around us has a fashion week. Why don't we have one? And so the first Central Virginia Fashion Week was born. 6 days of bliss.
I remember seeing it. I thought it was so amazing what you're doing. I was like, oh my, this is so cool. Like, so cool. Yeah. I think it's amazing how, like, just one thought can just create so much around you. I think it's amazing.
Yeah, that's what I see, like, just in your work ethic.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
very,
saying?
Very strong work ethic. A lot of people could learn from her.
Yeah, like, because
I mean, I have.
That's what that's what I wanted to say. Like, you know, it's amazing that you quoted some of the things you had said earlier, because, like, I was just, when you was saying it, I was just, you know, thinking back, like, because Angelina's the same way when it comes down to, like, certain things, like, you know, sacrificing, doing the things that you had to do, like, for Poetic Truth, for example. I was at work.
Oh, shout out to her, because she made our logo.
That is true. That's right. She sure did make our logo.
And you wearing it.
Look right here. You see this?
She did. She made our logo.
Proud owner.
Yes.
Because of her. You know, but listen though, like, I was at work, and like I said, I started, you know, Poet. I was like, man, I just want to start a movement or something like that. But, like, I told my wife about it, and I feel like by her seeing, you know, even back then, like, way back when, like, you know what I'm saying?
Years.
Years ago, like, you know what I'm saying? She was watching you, and she admired the hunger that you had, like, and so, like, and I can see it, like, when she manifests Poetic Truth the way it is now, it's all her. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't say I had much hands on it, but, like, I'm glad that she was able to take it and do whatever she needed to do.
Shout out to women.
Yes. Woman boss. Yes.
Women are the ones that are in control.
Right before we close, I'll just make sure that we don't have any other things that we want to ask Victoria before we close out, because, you know, we're definitely going to have her back soon. Yeah. She is most definitely awesome. Yes.
And we appreciate you for agreeing to do it.
She drips in awesomeness. She is just so dope, y'all.
Thank you all for the invitation. Thank you all for the invitation.
Yes.
No problem.
Well, thank you for accepting it. Yeah, we just think that you're doing some amazing things in Lynchburg, and of course it's inspired me to do things, you know, way back when, and I still watch you because I just love everything that you do, and I think it's really bringing a lot of other people wanting to do things, and especially in a area that people don't think is art, like it's fashion, and, you know, that's part of what Poetic Truth wants to do, is, you know, promote and invoke all things art, and we thank you for that, because your drive pushes us, and then we can push others. So tell us where we can find you on all your social media.
All right, so Instagram at I am Victoria Watts. I have a website, www.iamvictoriawatts.com, and you can also find me on Facebook at Victoria Watts, facebook.com/I am Victoria Watts.
Awesome.
So.
Awesome. Of course, you can find us on Instagram, Poetic_Truth Inc., on Facebook, Poetic Truth Inc., and find us on Facebook under our radio show, The Poetic Truth Show. Lavelle?
Oh, well, if you want to find me, you know, I'm Lavelle Sings on Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat.
The Snappers.
And if you all want to find me, I'm on Instagram and Snapchat at TheHypeGuy94.
Awesome.
And on Facebook as Robbie Williams.
Hype guy. Thanks again for listening. And of course, always remember, be true, be you.
Come on, hype guy.
Hey, Y'all are fast. I ain't messing with you.
The show is over. We still hype.
Still hype. Hey.
But why your head going different ways?